Hello, interwebs. My husband Mark decided that it'd be a fun idea to start a YouTube channel type thing, and he asked me if I wanted to be involved. And after a giant anxiety attack or so, I figured I would give it a go. So here I am in a room all by myself talking to a camera. So in the last video, Mark talked about his must list. Mark and I have two very different ways to do the same thing, so I figured I would give you my take on the must list. I started my must list a few weeks ago and wrote down everything I ever wanted to accomplish in my life, and then I got very overwhelmed. It was a good idea. It got me started on what I wanted to do, things that I probably say I want to do, but then get below a pile of yard work, housework, and work. But because I wrote so much stuff down on my must list, it started overwhelming me because I looked at it and realized that I would have to work full-time, come home, and just be on top of this must list. There are times when you come home from work and you don't have the energy to do stuff. I work full-time with young children. So the fact of working full-time, then trying to come home and do these things that I have on my must list, sometimes makes me start to resent what I wrote down, or it makes me feel like a failure because I just can't put this energy into it. I was reading on the internet one of Mark's sites that he recommended to me, Zen Habits. The writer, Leo, came up with the idea of no goals. And it's not so much you don't do anything, it's just you don't write down the goals that you want to accomplish. You do what you want to do, what you're passionate about, and you tend to spend more time working on it because these are things that really you're motivated about, things that you really want to do. So I found that very intriguing. So I was explaining to Mark that maybe instead of the must list, I'll go with this, no goals. I'll just do, what at that time I'm driven to do. If I come home and I want to play the guitar, I'll play the guitar. If I come home from work, do some yoga, do pictures, whatnot. I'll just kind of go where the mood strikes me to go. And at first it sounded like a good idea until talking with Mark, which he's so great at pointing out the other side of things to me. And he pointed out that the must list is really a way to develop new habits that you tend not to put the time and energy into. And like anything, it takes a long time to develop a habit. So I'm trying to find a way to balance out the must list and the no goals list, which kind of sound like an oxymoron and they cancel each other out, but I'll make it work. So I'm figuring what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my base must list. And a lot of my base of my must list is going to be, be grateful every day, be appreciative, try to be positive, try not to get involved in gossip. Which, when you're a woman, it is very hard to stay out of gossip. And when you work somewhere with 42 other women, yeah, that's almost like a losing battle. But I'm going to work my hardest. So I'm going to have those basic principles to my must list. And then I'm going to slowly add in other parts of my must list that I'd like to do. I'm going to prioritize the must list I came up with, and then every month or so, depending on how I'm going, I'll add something new in. So this month, I am working on yoga because I'm just a big, stiff, tired mess. Accomplishing the yoga aspect of my must list is surprisingly hard. I love anything with physical activity. It's the one thing that I find so much enjoyment from. I tend sometimes to have little social issues, and when playing sports, doing anything physical and active, I am like a completely different person. I'm the person that I really, really would love to be. So the fact that yoga really hasn't been made a habit yet is a little odd, and I think that's because I just have to find the time for it. I used to take classes, and I used to be very on top of it when I had to go to classes. But yoga classes can tend to be a little expensive. So my idea was just come home, do yoga at home, and then I would have videos and apps on my tablet that would help me do the positions and do the routines. But I'm apparently not that good of a self-starter. So yoga just tends to go to the wayside. So I need to really, really work on yoga. I am also adding in learn a new recipe or cook a new recipe once a week. I've also changed my diet to become more of a vegetarian diet, so I guess I gotta learn how to cook something new or else I'm gonna be eating salads all the time. I recently cooked an eggplant dish, and that went pretty good, so since I had a success, next week it doesn't seem so daunting. So my goal for this next week or so is to do yoga 3 days a week and cook a new recipe once a week. Sounds very, very simple. Cross our fingers that I actually accomplish it. That's it. I can't go anymore. That's all you're gonna get from me. So we're just gonna go with that. We'll see how that goes, and then hopefully next week it'll be a little more smoother and a little more easier. See ya.